We are commencing the fourth chapter of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, Kaivalya Pada. We have completed the first Pada, Samadhi Pada, the second Pada, the Sadhana Pada, the third Pada, the Vibhuti Pada. Now we are coming to the final Pada of the text. So, the Kaivalyam means it is Parama Purushartha. It is spiritual samambonam. The spiritual endeavor of human being culminates at this Kaivalya. It's called Mukti, Nirvana, Moksha, Paramapada, Parama Purushartha. So the Moksha is said to be the fourth Purushartha, the three being Dharma, Artha, Kama. So what is being spoken of or what will be discussed now is Moksha, Kaivalya, Nirvana, Parama Purushartha, Paramapada. It is reaching the finale of human spiritual endeavor. So, Patanjali's text culminates with this Kaivalya Pada. Kaivalya, Moksha, Nirvana is the Parama Purushartha, Paramapada, liberation, salvation. So in spiritual pursuit, the seeker looks for freedom, salvation, liberation. That means it is only a spiritual seeker who understands that we are under bondage. And this bondage is quite tormenting, harassing to the spiritual seeker. For others, the bondage which is being referred to is never felt. Many of the ignorant mortals think that they are independent and that there is no dependence for them. It is only spiritual seeker realizes that there are shackles, karma bandha. There are shackles of Maya, Maya bandha. There are shackles of avidya, ignorance. So, this is realized by one in spiritual pursuit. Therefore, moksha is counted as a fourth Purushartha, the last of the Purushartha. And in our ethos, this has been impressed on our mind. We are made to realize that we have four Purusharthas, namely Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. This is therefore called Parama Purushartha. But in order to leap towards the final goal of human spiritual endeavor, nowhere it suggests or nowhere it means or nowhere it implies that other three Purusharthas should be overlooked, sidelined, or bypassed. Not that Dharma, Artha, Kama are in counterposition of moksha. They are steps to be going towards the final Purushartha. When the three Purusharthas are unaccomplished, there is no way that the fourth Purushartha can be accomplished. Not having accomplished Dharma, Artha, Kama, there is no way that moksha can be accomplished. So, in our Dharma, in our ethos, in our Sanskriti, in our Parampara, in our tradition, the Acharyas and the Santa, the saints and Acharyas have repeatedly told us, emphatically told us, that although fourth Purushartha is to be sought, there is no way implied that other three Purusharthas should be sidelined, sidetracked, or bypass taken. Anyway, to embark upon this Kaivalya Pada, which is Moksha Pada, Nirvana Pada, we need to take a brief account of other Purusharthas as well. Because as just now said, without the other three Purusharthas, moksha is beyond the horizon. So first of the Purushartha is Dharma. Dharma is not as it is today understood as religion. That's a big problem today that we have, that Dharma is rendered as religion or faith. Religion is actually a cult. All the religions or all the isms are actually cult. And Dharma is altogether different. There is no word for Dharma in any other language. At the outset, it might be said that a human being, generally referred to as man, it doesn't signify the gender. Human being is usually rendered as man. And human being by birth is in human form. Like other beings, they have their own forms, such as cows, buffaloes, horses, donkeys, elephants, lions, eagles, crows, sparrows. They have the form. And they are what their form is. A lion is a lion. A tiger is a tiger. A cow is a cow. Eagle is an eagle. But with respect to human being, that is not the case. Human being, by being human being in form, doesn't mean that he is human being. The humanness has to be acquired. Humanness has to be attained. A lion doesn't have to attain lionness. A cow doesn't have to attain cowness. It is inherently there. Whereas human being has to become. The lions don't have to become. They are lions. The tigers don't have to become. They are tigers. The cows don't have to become. They are cows. The dogs don't have to become dogs. They are dogs. That is the case of subhumans, that they don't have to attain their being. Horse has horse being, cat has cat being, dog has dog being, elephant has elephant being, lion has lion being, tiger has tiger being, eagle has eagle being. Or even in the vegetable world, the trees don't have to become. The trees are trees. Birds are birds, cattle are cattle, animals are animals, herbivorous are herbivorous, So animals are animals by being. That is not the case of human being. We have to become human beings. By being human beings in form, we don't really become. We are not in a state of being of a humanness. It has to be attained. In short, all the animals, beasts, cattle, birds, worms, insects, plants, trees, they don't have to become. Whereas human beings have to become. All other beings are janmajata, what they are. While that is not the case of human being, we have to carve ourselves as human beings. We have to sculpt ourselves as human beings. We have to process ourselves as human beings. By being in human forms, we don't become human beings. Therefore, in our ethos, we have a concept called Dvija. Dvija means twice born. So we all have to be twice born. The first birth is of the form, and second birth is in case. And when we become human beings, when our becoming is in process or becoming is attained, then that is the second birth. So all human beings have to have two births, while the other beings don't have to have two births, they only have one birth. Humanness has to be earned. Humanness has to be attained. Humanness has to be acquired. Humanness has to be processed. Humanness has to be cultured. And this process of human being becoming human being is actually Manava Dharma. So we have to attain the Manava Dharma, and for subhumans they don't have to attain what they are. They are by birth what they are. So humanness has to be earned, attained, acquired, sculpted, carved, processed. So, by being human beings, we are not in Manava Dharma. But in case of animals and birds and other life forms, they acquire their dharma by birth. They don't have to be cultured. They don't have to be trained. They don't have to struggle to become what they are. So for animals, birds, insects, worms, plants, trees, all the other forms of life, they are what they are, which is Swabhava Dharma. Swabhavika Dharma. The tree is naturally a tree, as much as a lion is naturally a lion. A cattle is naturally a cattle. A bird is naturally a cattle. So they attain it by just manifesting in the form that they are. They are by natural propensities what they are supposed to be. Lion doesn't go to academy to become a lion. Tiger doesn't go to an academy to become a tiger. A cattle doesn't go to an academy to become a cattle. The trees and plants and vegetable world doesn't go to academy to become what they are. So by natural propensities, they are what they are and what they should be. So they don't have to become. The point is they don't have to become. They are by natural propensities what they are supposed to be. A dog is supposed to be a dog and it becomes dog by natural propensity. A tiger is supposed to be tiger and becomes tiger by natural propensity. A cow is supposed to become cow and it is cow by natural propensity, by its natural tendencies. The tendencies itself manifest. Relevant tendencies manifest and they are what they are. But human beings have to become cultured. The culturing process is a prominent feature of human life form. There has to be prayatna. There has to be pravrutti, nivrutti. You must put efforts to become human beings. You have to put up efforts to refrain from becoming non-human and put efforts to become humans. And that is why human beings are called twice born in our culture, in our ethos. The point is, human being is not human being because of a specific typical form. There are two legs called lower limbs, two arms called upper limbs, a trunk, a neck and head. So just by acquiring that form of human being doesn't become human being. So human being has to put a lot of endeavor to really prove to be human being, get the humanness. It is not easy. Lots of restraints are involved. Lots of observances are required. We have to observe so many things to prove that we are human beings and even to become human beings. So there are refrainments and there are observances. We must restrain ourselves from certain tendencies that we inherently have, otherwise our humanness is at stake. We have to have certain observances which needs a special endeavor, intent, resoluteness to be observing those observances, otherwise our humanness is at stake. So it's quite a battle for human being to be a human being. It's not a battle for a lion to be a lion, a tiger to be a tiger, a cat to be a cat, a cow to be a cow, a mosquito to be a mosquito, a worm to be a worm, an insect to be an insect, a plant to be a plant. So, by natural instincts, they are what they are supposed to be. While human beings need upbringing, nurturing, culturing, and they have to put up with a battle to take up all those observances to be human beings and restrain from certain things to be human beings. If they don't restrain from what they should restrain, they cease to be human beings. So is the case of observances. And that is really Dharma. Dharma is that because of which a human form is humanness. Now, little thought will tell you that it is not easy for human form to be human being. Human form itself doesn't give us humanness. Humanness is a lifelong battle for we commoners. That is, we have to see that we adhere to restraints and observances And therefore, in our system or in our arrangement of the ethos of the Sanatana Dharma, we are given certain instructions, we are told about certain observances, we are told about certain restraints. And that is Dharma. So, in simple words, the Dharma are those characteristics because of which we human beings don't cease to be human beings, because of which we continue to be human beings. So there are certain characters, and those characters are Dharma. Those characteristics are Dharma. And therefore, Dharma is quite a battle. To be in humanness is quite a battle. So, the Vedic culture, the Vedic Dharma told the human beings about certain things. You don't have to tell a cobra its rights. You don't have to tell a lion its rights. A tiger its rights. A dog its rights. They don't have to be told about their rights. So also they don't have to be told about their duties. It is not necessary for them to be told about their privileges. Whereas human beings need to be aware of rights. We need to be instructed about, we need to be cultured about adhering to our rights. Identify the rights and stay within the rights. Identify the duties and adhere to duties. And these set of instructions which have come, making us aware of our rights, duties, privileges, and even some rights. There are two kinds of rights. One is RIGHT rights, of which we are all aware. This is my right, that is my right, this is your right. Hakka, adhikar. That is one word in English, RIGHT, right. Another word is there in English which is pronounced the same way but spelled differently. They are RITE, rights. So, in human form, there are certain rights that we have to perform. There are certain rights that we can claim. So first of all, become clear about the two rights. One is RIGHT, right, which is adhikara. This is my right, that is your right. So we know today in our constitutions, political constitutions, that the citizens are given certain rights and they have to exercise their rights. And then there are certain duties which come our way. So there has to be a balance between the rights given to us and the duties that we are supposed to perform. To perform duties, we must have certain rights. And if we get certain rights, we also have to shoulder the duties. We just can't claim our rights and go by our rights, that this is my right, that is your right, that is our right. We just can't go by rights. On the other hand, there is a counterbalancing force called duties. The moment you get rights, you get also duties. They commensurate, the duties commensurate with the rights. If you have less rights, you have less duties. If you have more rights, you have more duties. If you have less powers, you have less duties. If you have more powers, you have more duties. So the concept of right and duty has to be understood. And human being needs to be adhering to the framework of rights and framework of duties. Then there are also rights, which is RITE, right. That is samskars. We have to perform certain rights. So RIGST right we enjoy, RITE rights we have to perform. Duties we have to perform. So figure out in these little complex in terms in English language what they actually mean. Rights we have, RIGST. Rights are to be performed for us to be becoming cultured in different stages of our life. There are certain rights to be performed. And in Vedic religion, there is a beautiful concept of Shodasha Samskaras. These are all rights, RITE. The point is, rights are to be performed so that we become cultured. Say, for instance, we can get grocery from a grocer's shop, but then we do not serve the plate of meals with grocery material. The grocery material is processed in a kitchen, in the kitchen processes. Something cooked, something boiled, something roasted, something fried. So we know what we do to grocery materials that we get from a grocer's shop, and then get back those things in the home, in the house, and we have a kitchen set up in our house. In the kitchen we do something. So for instance, these cereals, for them to be eaten as rice, we have to cook them. So we do some samskar on cereals. We do some samskars on pulses, lentils, and then only we are able to eat. So for human being, certain samskaras have to take place. Like the food material, unlike the other subhuman beings, they don't cook the food. Carnivorous and herbivorous, they don't cook the food. They just eat the food. Their food, they eat it, that's all. While human beings have to cook their food. That means the eatable material has to be cultured, has to be processed. Therefore, we have concept of kitchen processor, and we have arrangement like kitchen where we process the food that we have to be eating. So that is called samskari karanam. The cereals must have samskari karanam. The pulses must have samskari karanam. The vegetables must have samskari karanam. So we do some samskari karanam. We perform certain rites on them, and then we are qualified to eat that food. It becomes ingestive food. The raw grocery material doesn't become edible food, although it is edible matter. We have to process it, cook it, fry it, roast it. toast it, fry it, cut it. So many grating, so many processes are there called kitchen processes. That is performing rites on raw food, while other creatures don't perform any rites and they just eat it. They eat the flesh. The birds peck the cereals, peck the lentils, and they eat it. So they don't have kitchen arrangements. They don't need kitchen. A sparrow, crow, eagle, any bird, any insect, any worm, any animal, any beast doesn't need a kitchen processor or a kitchen, while human being needs that. So that means some rites are to be performed on the food that we are going to gobble or take it in the mouth as a morsel. So before it is taken as a morsel, we have to process it. We have to perform certain rites. Like as I said, the cereals are cooked. The lentils, pulses are cooked. Vegetables are cooked. And then only we are able to eat. So that is, similarly, human being needs to undergo certain processes. And those are called performing rites. Perhaps it will become easier to understand when I give you an example of the rites. These are maybe termed or considered as duties, but they are not really duties, because duties have correspondence to rights, R-I-G-H-T. Duties have correspondence to privileges that one has in life. But the rites, R-I-T-E, are to be performed. Like somebody loses the father or mother, last rites are performed. Those are rites. Last rites are performed on the dead ones. So that's the idea of R-I-T-E, right. R-I-T-E-S, rights. And therefore, Dharma mentions about the adhikar, power, empowerment, rights. Dharma mentions about kartavyas, the duties. What is your duty as a father, as a son, as a wife, as a husband, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister, as a nephew, as an uncle, as an auntie, as a niece? So, we have all these various relationships, family relationships and social relationships. And therefore, we get certain duties to be carried out. So that we are in that relationship. What is the what is the purpose, or what is the consequence if the father doesn't perform duties as father, the son doesn't perform duties as son? So is the case of mother, sister, daughter, wife, husband. If they don't perform their duties, with what avail the relationships are there? So that's called kartavya. So human being is supposed to very scrupulously adhere to adhikar, recognize, identify adhikars, kartavya, and the karma will be decided upon whether it is adhikar, whether it is a power, empowerment, or whether it is a duty. Act might be one and the same. Say you might walk a kilometer. Now, the walking a kilometer is one kind of act if it is your right to walk. You are walking as your right, 1 kilometer. It's what kind of walk. If you are walking as a duty, the act of walking is the same. But when it becomes a duty, it is a different karma. So the karmas change, the kriya may not change, walking kriya may not change, but the karma will change, depending upon whether it is adhikar, whether it is right, or whether it is kartavya, or whether it is duty. So in one sense, human life is complex. Usually we try to see what someone is doing, but that person might be doing that activity as adhikar or as kartavya or as the right or duty. So the kriya will be the same, activity will be the same, but then it has to be assessed, evaluated, taking into consideration whether it is a right to do that or whether it is duty to be doing that. Assessment will depend upon whether it is a right or whether it is a duty. So this is what the dharma is. The dharma is mistaken as kitchen orthodoxy, a set of rules, do's and don'ts, or certain dogmatic practices. That is what the religion is. That's why in the beginning only I said religion is a cult, while dharma is not a cult. If you are a human being, you may be atheist or theist, agnostic, whatever you might be, you have certain rights and duties to be performed. What is your belief system is nowhere to be considered, but you will have to understand that whether you adhere to a belief system or you don't adhere to a belief system, yet you can't escape from your rights, RIGST, duties, and the rights, RITES. So, and we are given an instrument to really ascertain all those factors. We are endowed with an intelligence or a buddhi which is able to identify. We are given buddhi, we are given vritti. These are fabulous terms in yoga psychology. So you are given buddhi, you are given vritti. Like as I said, you are walking as a right, it's one vritti. You are walking the same distance, same path as a duty, it's a different vritti. And we are given the consciousness, conscience, mind, psyche, intelligence, etc. to really adhere to dharma. So dharma is not just a burden loaded on us. We are given the systems to accomplish, identify and accomplish, realize, identify, accomplish. So we are given the instruments. And therefore there is no room for complaining. And only when we adhere to this, then our humanness is intact. We live in humanness only when we adhere to the dharma. This is called manava dharma. Um, so human beings are given responsibilities and duties. So understand what is Dharma telling us. Dharma, in short, tells us rights, duties, privileges, and we must adhere to all those. Those should be figured out. We are given responsibilities, and all these are interrelated. The vernacular words for these are adhikar, jawabdari, kartavya. Now this is how human life is composed of. That we are given certain powers, we are given certain rights, we are given certain duties, we are given certain responsibilities, we are endowed with certain privileges. So, not that we are not unequipped to be carrying out all these. The human should not be only behaving with human beings as human being, should not treat human beings as human beings. It is not only that he is responsible for human world. Human being is responsible for world at large and universe at large. We have certain obligations with regards to Pashu Pakshi, Prani, Kitak. We have certain responsibilities to be taking care of human beings and even subhuman beings. There might be animals, birds, creatures, beasts, etc., etc. Even the plants. So today we are aware of this environment and we are trying to protect the nature of the planet. The planet is not just meant for human beings. The planet is meant for so many life forms, all the life forms on it. So human beings have the responsibility to take care of beyond the realm of human world. We are endowed with responsibilities, we have to shoulder the responsibilities to take care of something which is beyond human nature or human world or human life form. We have to protect the planet. At large, we have to protect the solar system. We have to protect the universe. It is human being who has to take care. The trustee of the universe is human being. This is what Manava Dharma tells us. So you just can't be humane in the sense we understand that quality, character of being human or humane nature. Humane nature also means we must take care of all the life forms on the planet, antagonizing or protagonizing. We must protect them. We have to protect the world at large, the globe at large, the nature on the globe at large, the nature on the planet at large. We also have to protect the solar system. We also have to protect the space, solar space. Because today we are in a condition and we are in a position that we are going overboard and taking for granted the solar space, the space of the solar system. But we are supposed to be caretakers. We are supposed to be caretakers of the solar family. We are supposed to be caretakers of our galaxy. We are supposed to be caretakers of the whole universe at large. And human beings are given resources, conscience, intelligence, vritti, samskruti to really accomplish the responsibilities as human beings. Human being is not just a right, which most of us believe in our times with stark materialism. We want to identify our rights. This is my right. These are my rights. I should be given the rights. Nobody should be interfering with my rights, our rights. It's not just rights. We are given duties. We are given responsibilities. And for this to be accomplished, we are given certain privileges. As I said earlier, we are given the buddhi and vritti. We are given that conscience. We are given the conscience. We are given the sensitivities. We are given the buddhi. We are given the mind. We are given the psyche consciousness. So, as human beings, it should not be taken that we are overburdened, that we have to be caretakers of universe at large. Because we are given the privileges and we are given the instruments to take care of not only mankind, but the planet, the solar system, the galaxy, and the universe. So, Dharma says that we must be conscious about, conscientious about all these things such as adhikar, right, kartavya, duty, jawabdari, responsibility, rights to be performed. And that is Manava Dharma. So we don't get all this by birth. Potentially we have all that. We are endowed with such a psyche, consciousness, intelligence. Potentially we have it. But really to actualize, it's quite an austere practice. It requires resoluteness. It requires the cultural fabric. So without the cultural fabric, we will not be able to prove ourselves as human beings. And the cultural fabric says that we are responsible for, we must take responsibility with regards to mankind, life form, nature of the planet, nature outside the planet, the solar system, solar family, solar space. Otherwise, we are trying to make a garbage in the space. This is the reality of our times. Then we are caretakers of our galaxy. We are caretakers of the universe. So, in short, to conclude the today's session, we will have to conduct ourselves suitably to be in the framework of being humanness or having humanness in us. So, the Dharma tells us that we owe to our ancestors, we owe to our previous generations. So, we have to do something for ancestors, previous generations, Purvaja, Pitara. So also we owe something to nature, Deva Devata. We owe to the Nisarga. the nature, we owe something to Brahmanda, we owe something to his creation. So we are the trustees of his creation. He has appointed us as a trustee, and for which he had endowed us with whatever resources needed in consciousness, psyche, mind, etc., etc. So we have to prove to be human beings. So this is, we are trying to understand in brief the concept of Dharma. Dharma is not kitchen orthodoxy, a set of rules which dogmatic people practice. Religious dogmatism. We know how it has become a threat to mankind, threat to life, threat to planet. Anyway, so this Dharma has been enjoined by the Vedas, and we had generation of superhuman beings who told us about all this and who gave us a legacy which we need to carry forward. So Manava Dharma is given by Purva Suris. Manava Dharma is given by Rishis and Munis. Manava Dharma is given by saints, sages, and Manava Dharma has been described by Dharma Shastra. It gives us, it teaches us, it helps us in our becoming. Man has to learn from all that. So it will tell us about our Dharma and Adharma. It will tell us about restraints and observances, for which purpose it is enjoined on human beings to carry out Dharma Shastra Adhyanam. We don't do any Dharma Shastra Adhyanam in our times. But if you go back to some thousands of years, Dharma Shastra Adhyanam, Dharma was a matter for study. It's not just practice, but study and then practice. Practice and then study. And for our Dharma Dhyayanam, any study is required. We have enormous resources available called Dharma Shastra. There are Dharma Granthas, there are Dharma Shastras, there are Dharma Sutras, there are Shrauta Smarta Sutras, there is Dharma Mimamsa, there is Dharma Darshanam. All these literature, enormous prolific literature is given to us. It is only that we have turned our backs towards it. So understand how Dharma Shastra Adhyanam is important aspect for human beings, which we are totally neglecting. We don't understand our responsibilities at large. How much we owe to whole universe, and not just people around us or the society around us. And therefore Dharma is a matter of studies as well. Study and then practice, and practice, through practice study something. Study about it. So we have enormous literature available under the heading called Dharma, Dharma Shastra, Dharma Darshana, Dharma Mimamsa. Anyway, we won't go deep into it, but this should be enough to tell us about what is really Dharma the first of the Purushartha amongst Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Now we will proceed to second Purushartha, but that is in our next session. Namaskar all of you.